Here's the problem. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, at some time in our lives, often while recovering from a serious illness or accident, almost 70% of us, that's 7 out of every 10 Americans, will require some sort of convalescent or nursing, hospice, assisted living, or custodial care. In fact, 1 out of 5 of us will require this type of care for 5 years or longer. That's why it's often referred to as long-term care. And there are more than 10 million Americans of all ages who currently require long-term care services. And the average cost of long-term care in a residential care facility is more than $6,000 a month. Even a few hours a day of in-home care can cost at least $2,000 a month. And those prices are expected to double or even triple over the next 20 years. But the cost of this care is not covered by either health insurance or Medicare, which is why many people use up all their savings and even sell their homes to pay for these services. And while many of us think that long-term care is only for people in their 70s, 80s, or 90s, the fact is that 4 out of 10 people currently receiving long-term care are between the ages of 20 and 60. Like Stacy, who was diagnosed with leukemia when she was 45. She needed home nursing care for almost 4 years at a total cost of $182,000. Or Kevin, who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in his 30s. He's had an in-home caregiver for more than 7 years now, at a cost of $380,000. Of course, long-term care is more often required at older ages, like Jenna, whose Alzheimer's progressed to the stage at which she required 24/7 resident nursing care for the last 2 years of her life, and it cost her family more than $140,000. Like Jenna, if we cannot afford to pay for long-term care ourselves, we must then rely on family members to either provide care to us or to pay the cost for us. So, what's the most economical way to pay for long-term care? With long-term care insurance. Long-term care insurance can pay for the nursing, custodial, or hospice care you might need at any age in the comfort of your own home or in a resident care facility of your own choosing, affording you the best care available without cost to you or your family, and for as long as you require it. Like Jocelyn, whose legs were paralyzed in an auto accident at age 52. She'll need custodial care for the rest of her life at a cost of almost $4,000 a month, and it's all paid for by her long-term care insurance. Or Pete, who suffered a stroke at age 78 and lived in a nursing home until he passed on 6 years later. Total cost? $370,000, all paid for by his long-term care insurance. Or Marie, whose emphysema required an in-home caregiver for almost 4 years before she passed away at 91, and the cost amounted to more than $220,000, again, all paid for by her long-term care insurance. That's why more than 8 million Americans have already purchased long-term care insurance, coverage that currently pays out more than $3 billion each year to thousands of long-term care patients. So ask yourself this: knowing that you have a 70% chance of needing long-term care at some time in your life, and that the cost of such care is expected to double or even triple over the next 20 years, does it make good sense to rely on your savings, your income, your family, or even your home to pay for it? Or does it make better sense to insure those expenses, affording you the best care available without any risk to your income or your assets, and without any risk of becoming a financial obligation or an imposition to your family?